Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. I just wanted to check in, say hello. I've been a little bit busy this morning, just cleaning up and reorganizing. We had a lot of rain over the last 2 days, and that was a good thing. We did not have any rain for a long time, and we actually had so much rain that I have a little bit of water flowing in the stream behind my house. There was more, but I'll show you what I got here. There was a lot more, and there should be more considering how much rain we had. So this is what it looks like now, but you can see that there is water trickling down. It's usually up much higher. It's usually up, high, like up in here. But I wanted to also mention something. I watch a lot of homesteading channels, prepper channels, etc. I'll name a few of them. But this morning, I received an alert from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and it was so alarming. The heading was U.S. Marshals Raid Amish Homestead, or something to that effect. I immediately opened it and listened intently. If anybody knows anything about the Amish, they're very self-sustaining, independent, family-oriented, growth-oriented people. They stay pretty much to themselves, usually have very large farms and farm animals and do canning. They usually have their own country store, etc. And the communities rely a lot upon them. I've purchased so many things from the Amish community, not only over the years, but recently when I moved to Kentucky, there is an Amish community nearby, a couple of them, and it was just so alarming that money would be wasted. Government money would be wasted to send U.S. Marshals out to a family, an Amish family, just because they produce food. I mean, we have it within our heritage, within our right, within our history to grow food. Growing food is what people of the past did before we became a capitalist society and store-bought food popped up all over the place. Most people produced their own food in their own backyards. And if they couldn't, they had community gardens and they shared food. So let's say, like, I'm really good at, at growing bush beans, and somebody else is really good at growing tomatoes. We'll form a deal. I'll give you some of my bush beans if you give me some of your tomatoes. And that's the way it should be. And what's wrong with that? But for some reason, the powers that be are trying to control not only the FOOD, because from what I hear, even talking about this subject is being flagged, and I'm already flagged. For everybody that knows me, back in the day, in 2012, or even earlier than that, I was placed on a terrorist watch list. Yes, folks, me. I'm going to be turning 64 this week, and yes, I guess I'll have to say that. Yes, I'm turning 64 this week. I don't feel a day over 40. But, and I don't act it either. But, back in 2012, at the very least, yes, I was placed on a watch list. Why? Well, most people that are placed on watch lists have questioned something, have maybe disagreed with somebody in a position of authority or pissed somebody off, as if we can't be adults and discuss what's bothering somebody. Like, if, I have no problem agreeing to disagree with anyone, anytime. Let's sit down and talk about it. But people who are so full of themselves, they can be a narcissist, have personality disorders, in a position of power, criminally minded, envious, jealous, greedy. If they're in the know, they'll just nominate you for a watch list program to be tormented by FBI, Fusion Center operatives, utilizing MK Ultra and COINTELPRO terrorist tactics. So yes, folks, I'm already on a list. So I guess if I talk about the food supply, does anybody know what this is? I digress. Does anybody know what that is? I've noticed it before, but I don't know what it is. It's growing alongside of this tree. And there's so many forageables on my property that I don't know what they are. And I'd really love somebody to walk around with me and point out what's good and what isn't. But anyway, we digress again. But could you imagine these poor Amish people? They're just going about their daily business and getting a knock on the door from a U.S. Marshal because they grow pigs, or they sell food, or are self-sustaining. What's next? Are they going to come for your little backyard garden sunflowers? Or are they going to come for, the vegetables that grow just because somebody else's vegetable seeds blew onto your property and started to germinate? Where is this leading? And I'll tell you right now, folks, Bill Gates, if you want us to eat bugs, Mr. Gates, I have news for you. My chickens like mealworms, but I don't eat mealworms. I'd rather eat everything that I'm looking at here. Everything green here, it's not going to be bugs, mister, while you're sitting in your underground tunnel somewhere. So this is very alarming, folks. Go check out Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, their latest video. They have a homestead in Missouri, 11 acres of land, and they've been there, I forget what they said, 10, 12, 13 years. Go check them out. They've got some really great videos, good information. They're one of my go-to people. But I also am very interested in what Appalachia's homestead with Patera has to say. She is one of the YouTube creators who has one of the most productive and beautiful farms, and there is something about the way she cares for her animals that is really close to my heart, because I have a cat rescue. I love my chickens. But go check out her channel too. Not that she needs more followers, she's got lots, but she offers a lot of wisdom and advice. And let's see, who else? I follow, let's see, who else am I watching? I'm watching Roots and Refuge with Jess. I just watched her video. A Prepper One. I'm just forgetting all the names right now. I've got like a list. But I wanted to say also that it's never too late to start growing. I'm not a master grower. I moved from New Jersey. I had a beautiful garden. It was mostly a flower garden, although I did grow fruit trees and fruit. I had stopped growing vegetables. I guess it was during my divorce. I just didn't have a lot of time. And the rabbits were eating them. But I did grow fruit. So I've always grown strawberries and peach trees and stuff like that. So I did plant some trees, but they're not going to fruit this year. Maybe next year, if I'm lucky, they'll fruit. I've got an apple, an apricot, and a peach tree. And then all these berries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, red raspberries, black raspberries. I even planted a tobacco tree. I don't smoke tobacco, but I thought, oh, well, that would be fun to do. And something that I have planted that was really a nice surprise, and I don't hear enough people talking about it. They're ground cherries. I think they're called gooseberries, but they're ground cherries. So this is what they look like, folks. This is what they look like. And they have these little fruits in a little package here that sort of reminds me of those tomatillos. And what they are, I'll pull this one off, this one is ripe. And this is what it looks like, folks. It has the consistency of a grape. It's a little more tart and it's juicy, and it's delicious. And my hens love it too. So I'm going to taste it now. Lots of little seeds in there. I actually did not plant these. I did not plant these. What happened was I planted them on my porch, and then they were growing here, and they're still growing here. But last year, so they're growing here. But last year, I hired somebody to cut the grass, and he helped me move some really good soil I have down that end of the property. There were horses that were pastured there for a long time, and of course their manure fertilized everything, so it's like the best soil. So I had some of that soil moved down here, dumped here, and I put some wood chips here and stuff. So the ground cherries were moved around, and they ended up here. I did not plant them here, but they're here. And this is what they look like. You see these, this is the fruit. They are so, another one. They're so easy to grow. They're hardy. See, look at them. And what happens is they'll fall to the ground. Like these little pouches, these little seed pouches, they will fall to the ground, and then you could collect them and eat them. I wonder what it would be like to make jam or jelly with them. They're so interesting. And so they ended up moving here. I never planted them here. So I've got one here, and then all of these here. And then I've got some on my porch. And I just transplanted these berries, and here's one that popped up here. I just planted these berry shrubs that were growing on my porch. They outgrew. You see here, they outgrew their containers. So I transplanted them here before the rain. So hopefully they'll settle in here. They were getting really brown. And that's one of the reasons why I did not plant more food, because we had no rain here. I was having to water everything by hand, and walking all the way down there to here with a hose was a lot of work. And then carrying buckets of water too. So I planted over the last couple of days more things. We'll see what grows. And I weeded lots of weeds here, all this grass. And I'll tell you that this grass did not plant here by me or the wind. I'll just say that the perpetrators did it. And that's what they do. They like to plant crabgrass in my gardens. And it's not naturally occurring, because I actually don't have crabgrass in my fields, only in my garden beds. So what I did was I planted some organic cantaloupe, organic pumpkin, organic watermelon. I know it's very, very late, but we had no rain here. I'm planting it now. It's in the best sunny spot, fertilized area, so I'm hoping that something happens here. Maybe I'll get something to grow. If not, it's just, you know, okay, so I've got some seeds in the ground. And then what I did was I planted some of my fall garden. I just started. And again, you know, it's only me. Like, you see a lot of these channels and they're planting rows and rows of vegetables. It's just too much for me. So I planted some zinnia. And I planted some garlic chives, Boston lettuce, and we've got some carrots coming up here. These carrots have taken so long, it's because we just didn't have enough rain. And I'm going to be planting some peas and more bush beans. I guess I'll show you what my bush beans look like after all the rain. And here we have some nice little flowers. Hey Marco, what you looking at over there? What you got? Is anything good? What is that? Oh my, you know what that looks like? That looks like the skeleton of a little salamander. That's what that looks like. If they have a skeleton, but that's what it looks like. So we fortunately had a lot of rain. You can see a couple of my water barrels that I keep around the pails that I keep around the property. They're full. All the water barrels are filled. And what's going on over here, guys? Who's here? You want to say hi? Oh. It's Tucker. It's Mr. Tucker Carlson. There he is. What you doing, boy? You doing my dance? You dancing for me? Are you dancing for me? Yeah, you're so cute. And here come the girls. Here they come. They're like, oh, she's talking. That usually means if she's talking over here that we're going to get a T-R-E-A-T. But no, I don't have W-O-R-M-S because when I say that word, they just come running. They're so excited when I say W-O-R-M-S. So, and this is our other little chicken coop. Oh, I've got some news. Or I will have some news. I received an email from Meyer Hatchery that they shipped my 30 little baby chickie guinea hens. So within the next couple of days, I will have some babies here to pamper, and they'll be cackling real soon. That's my new alarm system, folks. Everybody's saying I need to get a big dog. I have not been successful in adopting a dog. I've had dogs, stray dogs here, and I've liked them all. I've liked all the dogs that have been here. It's just the dogs that have been here have been at an age that freak out my cats. They've been at that 6, 8, 9-month-old age where they're larger than a puppy. I mean, I guess they're still considered to be a puppy. But they're too large for the cats. My cats will actually disappear. Gone. I won't see them. As long as I have a dog here, they're gone. If perhaps I adopt a puppy, like a real puppy, like a cute little fluffy thing, that might work. So in between, I decided to get some hens, guinea hens, because they are an alarm system. They also, and I'm told, but I don't know this for sure, I'll have to check it out, that they love to eat bugs, especially ticks. And it's not like we have a crazy amount of ticks, but there are ticks around here. So I'm happy to let them loose on the property and go forage some ticks. So here, after the rain, my coneflowers blossomed really well. And we've got a little pollinator here. And I'm looking forward to collecting some seeds when these die back. See, we've got some little bees here. And I ordered a beehive. It's called a flow or something like that, a flow beehive. It's not your traditional beehive. It's a new type of hive. They were having a sale, I guess, on their older model. And I said, it was so drastically reduced, let me try it. Because it was going to cost less to buy this flow beehive on sale than it would have to buy the traditional kind where you have the boards that slide into the hive. From what I understand, it can be very disruptive to the bees pulling them out, and then you have to gear up head to toe so that you're not stung, etc. And this is a new thing for me. I'm not afraid of bees, but I don't like the wasps. But I figured I'd try it, and they said it would take between 4 and 6 weeks delivery. So we'll wait on that. So we'll have bees. We'll be collecting some bees, attracting some bees, and then we'll have some guinea hens. So I wanted to tell people that part of the reason I moved from New Jersey to a rural Kentucky, it's not just because of the targeting. I've mentioned this before to people. I had always planned on leaving New Jersey. It's just too expensive. This is the area where there was a building here. I had it torn down because I do believe that people were hiding out in this building and behind it. So now I can see out here. And what's really nice is I can see it from my window. I can see it from the window of my house out here. And I put some lights out here, security lights, motion sensor lights. So when I walk around in here, they'll turn on. But I had always planned on moving to a rural area. I always wanted a farm. That was always the plan. And if I can do it, you can do it. I'll tell you what I did. I sold my huge, gorgeous 5-bedroom house, 2.5 bath, 2-car attached garage with an attic above the house, 2 outbuildings. I renovated it top to bottom. Everything was new. I sold that house where I lived for 30 years as the original owner, completely landscaped, and decided to buy this 64-acre farm that was in very bad condition when I moved here. The former owner, and I'll tell you his name. His name is Travis Sparks. Travis was 96 years old when he passed away. When he retired from his General Motors job in Ohio, he and his wife moved back to McKee, to Kentucky. And unfortunately, his wife died after being here for just 2 years. And to deal with his grief, he decided to build a village. And this is part of the village. He built a church. He built a little storage building. He built a schoolhouse, a library, a barber shop, a railroad, a convenience store, a post office, an auto shop, a doctor's office, a sewing office, and a country store. And I'll show you if I can get his sign here. Can you see that, folks? Sparks Grocery Store. So when I was house searching, I had not planned on moving to this town. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about this county. I wasn't researching here. But some people have told me that I was actually guided here, because that's what the criminals do. That all of the houses that I was interested in, that I had bookmarked, that where I was going to move, suddenly were either off market, sold, under contract. I had nowhere to go. This popped up on my search engine, and I said, well, it was reasonably priced. I mean, considering, you know, New Jersey prices, right? 64 acres of land in New Jersey would be a couple $1 million for sure. I decided to move here. I actually lived in my car for 6 weeks on a driveway. I lived for 6 weeks in my car on a driveway at the top of that hill. And all of my rescue cats were driven here in an RV that I rented, and purchased all of their pet carriers and moved them all here. Yes, I was living in my car up there. So if I can do it, you can do it too. And some people say, oh no, you're just so brave. Like, how did you do that? It's like, you know what? There's no time like the present. If there's something you want to do, don't wait. Don't hesitate. Just do it. To the best of your ability, do it. Oh, and this is, you know, stuff that I find on my property by the criminals. You know, they like to leave stuff like this here. I mean, I don't drink soda pop, but... And, you know, I'm living here so long now, over 3 years, that I've cleaned this property over and over and over again. And it's just amazing how I might overlook something like that, right? I digress. And it's really important to, if moving is not something that you can do, if you have a mortgage and you can't get out of it, if you haven't found a piece of land, if you have family that you need to live next to, you do what you can do. I moved away from my family. I did. It was hard. It was very hard for me. And last year my mother died because of the COVID protocol that was inflicted upon her when she tested negative twice for COVID. So they actually murdered her at Lawrence Hospital in New York. I was fortunate enough to be interviewed by Dr. Brian Ardis, A-R-D-I-S. And I will link that interview below because people are suffering. But I did move away from my family. I have a very small family anyway. And I just know that when I was speaking to my mother, she had planned on coming to visit me. And they prevented that from happening. That was prevented. We've got a perpetrator driving by. Hello, baby boy. I don't know who this is. Somebody's driving up my driveway. So I'm going to end here. But I want to just end on a note that if I can grow a garden, so can you. All it takes is some dirt and some seeds and some water. You can do it. You can do it on your windowsill, in your backyard, your front yard. You could do it in your bathroom, get some grow lights. And I hope everybody's having a good day. Bye.